Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving straight into an absolute masterclass of suspense. It's a dark, super intense 2-minute story called The Midnight Withdrawal. But hey, we aren't just going to sit back and analyze this from a safe, detached distance. No way. To really grasp the mechanics of this text, we've got to put ourselves right in the middle of the chaos. We're going to experience this split-second nightmare from the perspective of the victim on the floor. Imagine you are that terrified night guard. It's your eyes seeing these horrifying visual details, your ears ringing with the madness. Ready? Let's set the scene.
This story kicks off with a really simple line. The neon sign of Gotham First Bank flickered through the heavy rain. You can almost feel that slow, sleepy pace, right? You're inside the bank, you're the night guard, and you let out a huge yawn, checking your watch. It is exactly 2 a.m. Just picture the rhythm of the heavy rain outside, the buzzing hum of that flickering neon light, and the absolute dead silence of the marble lobby. The writing brilliantly lulls us into this gloomy dawn. It gives you this false sense of total mundane security right before the inevitable chaos hits.
Section 1, A Gloomy Dawn in Gotham. Okay, let's dive into this. As a night guard on the graveyard shift, your body is completely relaxed, your reflexes are totally dimmed down, and honestly, you're utterly vulnerable. When you're standing guard in the dead of night, your biggest enemy isn't typically a supervillain, it's the clock. You just aren't mentally prepared for a war zone.
And then, boom! The world literally explodes. We snap instantly from that totally mundane reality into a violent, explosive disruption. Out of nowhere, the front glass doors don't just break, they absolutely shatter into a million pieces. The sensory overload is immediate. It is deafening. From your perspective as the guard, that blast rips you right out of your sleepy haze. Debris is flying past your face. Thick, blinding smoke instantly floods the pristine lobby. You haven't even had a fraction of a second to process what's happening. But your heart, it is already hammering against your ribs.
Section 2. Enter the Purple Nightmare. So, through that thick, swirling smoke and all the settling dust, a figure steps in. You're squinting, desperately trying to make sense of the sudden attack. And cutting right through that gray, drab debris is the incredibly sharp, immaculate cut of a purple suit.
Then, the face of terror emerges. Pale white skin, a chaotic green mop of hair, and a jagged, blood-red smile painted right across his face. And this brilliantly illustrates how the visual details alone make your blood run cold. From where you're standing, those unnatural, vivid colors, the stark white, the toxic green, the visceral, violent red, they clash so horribly with the dark, rainy reality of the bank. His visual design is inherently unsettling. It's him. It's the Joker.
Just as your brain is frantically trying to process this horrifying visual reality, the silence shatters again. Good evening, Gotham. He actually cheers. Talk about a terrifying contrast. You're standing there in absolute paralyzing panic while he is completely cheerful. He bows deeply, like he's on a theater stage soaking up the applause. He's not some bank robber creeping around in the shadows to steal money. He is a performer. And you, the terrified guard, are nothing more than his captive audience.
Section 3, The Bullet That Stops Time. Now we all know that in moments of extreme, life-threatening fear, time gets weird. It distorts. You reach for your holster, but in your shock, your movements feel so sluggish, so heavy and desperate. You just aren't fast enough. By contrast, the Joker's movements are entirely effortless and practiced. With a twisted laugh, he pulls a sleek, customized revolver right from his coat. The speed discrepancy between you, the terrified victim, and him, the prepared predator, is absolute.
Bang. A single shot echoes through the empty lobby. You collapse to the floor. Now, the narrative pacing of the story completely freezes here. From this moment on in our explainer, you are lying motionless on the cold marble floor. Your vision is blurring. You're paralyzed. You can only rely on your fading sensory observations to track the nightmare as it continues to unfold directly above you.
He walks over. Through your fading vision, you watch his shiny leather shoes step right over your motionless body. Not a single hint of remorse. He twirls the smoking gun casually on his finger and just slides it back into his pocket. And then he leans down. Always check the balance before you make a withdrawal, he whispers, actually giggling to himself. The sudden juxtaposition here is bone-chilling. Literally seconds ago, it was explosive violence and a deafening gunshot. Now,
It's this quiet, twisted, almost intimate humor. To him, your life ending is just the setup for a punchline.
Section 4. The chaos of the frantic harvest. As you lie on the floor, smelling the harsh metallic tang of gunpowder, your hearing gets hypersensitive. Now, what's really interesting about this is what you hear next. You hear his footsteps strolling behind the counter, and he is whistling. It's this eerie, completely cheerful tune echoing through the lobby, cutting straight through the anxiety of the silent alarms that you know have already been tripped.
His actions build a true symphony of madness. Think about it. First, the highly controlled theatrical bow. Second, the practiced twirling of the smoking gun. Third, that relaxed, eerie whistling. But then comes the fourth step. He whips out this massive leather duffel bag and just starts frantically throwing stacks of $100 bills into it. From your floor-level view, listening to him tear through the teller's drawers, his erratic movements become a deliberate, terrifying study of his madness. He shifts instantly from a cold, calculated killer to a frantic tornado of chaotic energy.
And there is a terrifying disconnect going on here between his distraction and his motivation. Any normal thief would be sweating bullets, panicking, checking their watch, and rushing to beat the cops. Not the Joker. He completely ignores the silent alarms. He just doesn't care. He grabs the money with this manic, frantic energy, tossing it carelessly into the bag until it's literally overflowing. It's not about precision or wealth accumulation. It is entirely about enjoying the adrenaline rush. The chaotic act of taking is what feeds him.
Section 5. The final laugh in the dark. Outside, through the shattered entrance, sirens begin to wail. Their red and blue flashing lights cut through the dark rain, casting eerie shadows everywhere. Help is coming, but for the Joker, it's just his cue for a curtain call. With millions of dollars slung casually over his shoulder, he walks back toward that shattered entrance. But notice, he doesn't run. He pauses at the doorway. He takes a moment to look back at the messy crime scene. He looks back at the broken glass, the scattered bills, and he looks back at you on the floor. And then he lets out a loud, terrifying laugh. As he walks away into the rain, that laugh just echoes and fades down the empty streets of Gotham. He isn't fleeing in fear. He's exiting the stage because the show's over and he won.
All of this leaves us grappling with one ultimate, truly provocative question. Does the Joker actually care about the millions of dollars stuffed into that bag? Or is his true prize simply the terror of the show itself? I mean, the overflowing bag and the careless tossing of the cash strongly suggest the money is merely a prop. The real withdrawal he made tonight wasn't from the bank's vault. It was the peace, the safety, and the sanity of Gotham City. As you lie there in the dark with the echo of his laugh fading into the heavy rain, you're left to wonder what the true purpose of this nightmare really was. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer today. Keep asking questions, and I'll catch you next time.